When we're trying to grow wealth, when should a client actually loop an accountant in? What's the ideal time?
At the beginning, and start with the end in mind, not just taking that next step, because again, where we see clients get hamstrung is not thinking about steps 2, 3 and 4.
So what are your philosophies around property buying and how do you use this with your client?
I've seen a lot of strategies online when it comes to property. Look, all strategies can work, but my personal philosophy is that I prefer to let the market do the hard work and not me. So I personally prefer to buy existing properties and just hold it for a long period of time. And I just know it works.
Talking about creating wealth, generational wealth, what should parents actually be thinking of?
One, when do we want to give money to the kids? The other component is, back to estate planning. And then also things like insurance, that there's a need for it, particularly when you're building wealth. And then as we have wealth, we can then scale it back down.
Go slow to go fast, and we'll get there. Doesn't matter how long it takes, but we'll get there safely, and it won't stunt your growth. It will keep you moving forward. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Finance This, Property That. We're back with my mini-series, 4-part mini-series. This is part 2. Today, I want to discuss the myth of free advice and the one-stop shop. I'm going to talk about why free advice isn't free, the one-stop shop problem, and why I don't tell you what to buy. Sweet, let's get into it. So, really big talking about like free advice isn't free. Now, a lot of mortgage brokers in Australia say the same thing. We don't charge you, we're paid by the lender. That is true. Very true. We only get paid, however, if and when the loan funds and net of offset. So if you get a $5 million loan and you offset it by $5 million, your broker's not going to get paid, but they've done the same amount of work for a $500,000 loan as they did for your $5 million loan. We're a small business in Australia. But it also means the incentive to settle the loan, the incentive is to settle your loan and not to optimize structure sometimes. So free advice priced into a product is still a cost. You're just not seeing the invoice. When you're sitting there and getting actual advice on debt structure and strategy, it's never a loan application. When we're setting up your debt structure and strategy, we're looking at everything that we can possibly find, all the information. We literally get it all from you so that we can tailor the solution to you. The finance solution is tailored based on your requirements, objectives. We've already fully assessed your income, scenario tested the income, done valuations across 3 to 4 lenders sometimes to find you the best debt structure. Recently, we helped a client restructure her whole debt. She had one with one bank, 2 with another. We restructured her to a completely different bank because when we reran the vals, we couldn't keep her at either of the banks that she was with because the valuations were well under, and it would actually end up causing more issues by cross-collateralizing securities, the drawing on equity that we didn't need to draw on, and overall the structure wouldn't work for her next 5 years. We saved this client the headache and transitioning, and what we also found that was one of her properties was not performing, so we gave that information to her financial planner, who she's now going to have a conversation with to see whether it's worth selling the property alongside with her accountant around the capital gains or capital losses that she could potentially make. My next point, there are a lot of places out there that are the one-stop shop solution, as they say. I call it the one-stop shop problem. I think we've pushed hard as an industry towards a vertically integrated models. You do the finance, you do the buyer's agency, you do the advisory, you do the property management, all that sort of stuff, right? And then you also do the insurance. That sounds really convenient, but when one business earns all the money from every part of your decision, who's actually giving you that independent, unbiased advice? The answer is nobody. Independent specialists like myself, we coordinate the strategy and we beat conflicted generalists every time. And that is because it's in our best interests. It really is. And we're here for you, not the bottom line. That is why I don't tell you what to buy. This one really surprises people because when I speak to them, it's like, oh, you're going to tell me what to buy and you're going to help me find it. I'm like, no, I'm a finance strategist. I'm not a buyer's agent. I don't get paid by developers or anything like that. What I do is I build your finance strategy and help you understand property strategy options. And then I help you build the right team of independent specialists that help you, and they're specialists in their field. They'll talk about their stuff. They don't get involved with what I talk about. You could say I'm your quarterback. I don't play every position. And that really works because we can have robust conversations and you know that you're not just getting yes, yes, yes. It is like, hey, you're going to get challenged because ultimately I don't want you to make $1 million mistake. I'd rather you pay for the advice, which is not $1 million, and get the right advice, be linked up with the right people. And the whole purpose of these people are to help you. I don't get paid by any of my referral partners. They don't pay me. It's an absolute non-negotiable. I do not deal with anyone like that. So to sum this up, the most dangerous advice you'll ever get is the kind that comes without disclosure of who benefits you when you say yes. As always, the information on this podcast is very general in nature. Doesn't take into consideration any of your personal circumstances. If you'd like to have a chat with me about your finance and how we can help you, I'm easy to find at Dion Finance Specialist, financesproperty.com.au. I'll also put links to my new websites, or if there's any links to my Instagram and LinkedIn in the podcast show notes. But until the next episode, I'll see you all later.